Hey, it's a live stream because the 49ers just beat the Cardinals 16-15. They moved to 3-0 on the season. I'm Kyle. That's Chris, former 49ers beat writer Chris Biderman, writes for the Sacramento Bee. I'm Kyle Madson, NinersWire.com, all that jazz. So if you're listening on the podcast, you just heard that twice because I don't have the live thing down just yet. But hey, that's, you work on things and you move forward. I believe, Chris, that the 49ers, if they played these 3 games last season, are sitting at 0-3 right now instead of 3-0.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's a strong take because
Thanks.
Last year, I think the big theme of last year, aside from the injuries, was just not being able to overcome the injuries.
Okay.
What?
Keep going. I was just going to say, last year their field goal kicker would have missed the game winner today. So
that's true too. That's also true. But no, like you obviously don't have Brock Purdy. You don't have George Kittle. You lose Nick Bosa in the first quarter. You haven't had Brandon Ayuk all year, right? And the 49ers are now the team through 3 weeks that is just finding ways to win games, where it's felt like, last year going 6-11, they were finding ways to lose games. And it just feels like, honestly, George Kittle said it in August, and as more time goes on, the more and more I believe it. The biggest thing the 49ers did in the offseason was bring Robert Saleh back. And I know there were some busted coverages today. It felt like today was the first time there were really some like truly busted coverages from a schematic or communication standpoint. And it happened on the touchdown drive for Arizona in the second half, and the other drop pass, which looked like the same exact play for Marvin Harrison's son. But I just thought the defense was so good. Like, just think about it. The 49ers had a goal line situation on offense. They turned it over on downs. The 49ers gave up a safety with a holding call in the end zone. And Mac Jones threw a fourth quarter interception. And they still won the game.
Yep.
Like, for all those things to happen, and for the Niners, the Niners outgained Arizona 355-260. They went 2 of 10 on third down, and they still come away with a division win.
Yep.
With their backup quarterback, no less. The defense is playing at a really high level. Fred Warner is out of his mind right now. Upton Stout, his play late in the fourth quarter, the pass breakup, which was a huge one.
Unreal play.
Mykel Williams in and out of the lineup with the wrist injury, but played really, really well, particularly defending the run. Still sort of waiting for the pass rush, but maybe you give him a pass on Kyler Murray because Kyler Murray is just so hard to corral.
Yep.
Bryce Huff looks really good.
Yep.
You're just seeing, Renardo Green had some tough moments, but I think has been solid overall. The defense has just been really, really good. Kalia Davis, like who had Kalia Davis as being like a difference maker in the running game. So yeah, all good things. Like you start the season 3-0, you play 2 out of 3 games with your backup quarterback. You have 2 division wins, including 1 on the road. The Niners are, one of 3 3-0 teams in the NFC. It's very, very early. They're dealing with a ton of injuries, but they keep winning games, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, man. Just defensively, you look at these numbers, and this is a little bit it was a hallmark of the. I don't know. We'll do sock talk in a little bit. It was a hallmark of the solid defense in 2019 and 2020 was they just didn't give up a ton of big plays. And like you said, I think Kyler Murray and his legs have had a little bit to do today with 49ers defensive backs having their eyes in the backfield and just kind of, making sure that he's not escaping. And that's how you get Marvin Harrison Jr. free twice behind the defense. And he caught one of those for a big gain. But you look at their drive chart, 10 plays, 32 yards. 11 plays, 33 yards. 12 plays, 49 yards. 15 plays, 82 yards. Ends in a 28-yard field goal. Their only touchdown drive was aided by a 33-yard pass interference penalty. Like, it was a really, really awesome defensive effort, and I think they did a really nice job of making a couple adjustments during the game. I thought their pass rush was really, really effective at keeping Kyler Murray in the pocket. And I was thinking about it during the game, and we'll get to the Nick Bosa injury, but when he went down, you saw the pass rush very much maintain, like, I don't know, gap integrity, lane integrity, whatever it is, where it wasn't, people trying to crash through the middle of the line or win inside and expose the edge. It was just everybody's going to keep Kyler in the pocket. Mm-hmm. And he's just not, I don't think Kyler Murray's a bad quarterback, but he's way less effective from there. And so I thought they did a really, really good job. I thought Robert Saleh had a really, really good plan. I think the Niners executed it for the most part really well. And, it's still only 3 weeks, but it's really, really tough to not like the direction the 49ers defense is headed, barring, something catastrophic with Nick Bosa as we await confirmation on his injury.
There was really only one bad play defending the run, and it was when Marquise Siegel missed a tackle on Benson, who escaped for that 29-yard gain. Arizona finished with 106 rushing yards. Obviously, they had the 29-yarder, which was their longest. Their second longest was 9 yards. They averaged 3.8 yards a carry, even with that 29-yard run.
Man.
So the staple of this defense, which is pretty similar to when it was elite previously under Robert Saleh, was you can dink and dime all you want. You're just not going to get big plays.
That's it.
Right. You can dink and dime, and you're going to be in 3rd and 8, and the Niners are just going to like their chances. Like Arizona, to your point, like all of their drives felt like all their effective drives were just super, super long, and it's just really hard to sustain that. Like it's really hard to just have like a ton of long drives in a game offensively and just take 4 yards at a time and win a game without any big plays. And the 49ers, the only touchdown drive they yielded was when they had the super long pass interference and they had that blown coverage. So that's the hallmark. That is the very clear game plan. Fred Warner, I don't know if he's going to get Defensive Player of the Year recognition, because I don't know if he's going to have like the turnover stats, or I don't know if he's going to have any like defensive touchdowns. But I have to think he's one of the most impactful, if not the most impactful defensive players in the league right now. Just like down to down, getting everybody lined up, like the communication he has before every single snap, getting everybody in the right place, making sure everybody's assignment sound. Like if he's not in the play, it's because he's getting blocked by 2 offensive linemen, and it's like by design, right? Like it's making the jump at the line of scrimmage and deflecting that pass. It seems like he's in on every tackle.
Nearly had an interception early in the game too.
Yeah, and probably should have had the interception on the play at the line of scrimmage that he batted down. Like he's one of those rare players that just feels like he makes everybody around him better. Right? Like he's one of those star defensive players who like D Winters looks really, really good, right? Is D Winters playing this well on his own? Like if D Winters isn't next to all-world Fred Warner right now, D Winters isn't looking. So like there's an element of like the intelligence and the anticipation and the aggressiveness that it feels like the defense is feeding off of through Fred Warner. That is making the defense better than the sum of its parts. And Robert Saleh, his scheme and just his intelligent coaching has a lot to do with that too. And like the Niners defense has been really good. They came into the game number 1 in the NFL in defensive EPA per play. Obviously that's a noisy stat through 2 weeks. They went against Sam Darnold and Spencer Rattler. So that's not super impressive, but if you keep backing up good defensive performances with good defensive performances, right, the numbers are going to reflect really well. And it looks like the Niners probably should have a top 10 defense, right? Like that's when it's all said and done. I would be surprised at this point, particularly given the quarterbacks the 49ers go against this season, if they don't have a top 10 defense just overall in like all of the basic statistics.
Right.
Starts with stopping the run. And they're just going to say, yeah, you want to dink and dime us to death? Go for it. We're just not going to give up any explosive plays. And then we're gonna have a really good shot at beating you because we have Fred Warner. We'll see with Nick Bosa. We can talk about the Nick Bosa injury, but the young guys are stepping up, man. And that's what the 49ers have needed. They've needed young guys to step up. And through 3 weeks, particularly on the defensive side, that's what they're seeing.
Yeah, man. It was rough on the ground against against the Saints, the Niners just had a really, really difficult time stopping the Saints run game. And we said on this podcast, I think after the game and during the week, like, you trust Robert Saleh and that personnel group to kind of figure it out, and that they figured it out in a week against a team with a really effective run game and a really effective running quarterback is impressive just in a vacuum. But then when you remove Nick Bosa from the equation, who went down with that knee injury in the first quarter, when that happened, I sort of assumed it was just going to kind of be over. Like, the Niners are just going to have a really hard time stopping Arizona. And they didn't. A Nick Bosa injury was something that I would have put down as big of a catastrophe as the 49ers could have. And Michael Williams stepped up. Bryce Huff stepped up. It was a lot of Sam Okuwanu. Yetur Gross-Matos had to play more than he typically would, and they just figured it out. Jordan Elliott had a couple of splash plays. You mentioned Kalia Davis earlier. Alfred Collins had a quarterback hit on the intentional grounding near the end zone. Like, they are figuring out ways to kind of put together and piece together a defense in a spot where, like, they're doing the same thing on offense. And being able to play the complementary football that we hear so much about, with so many players who weren't expected to starting, or players who weren't expected to play a ton playing a ton, that's a testament to not only the development of this group, but the coaching staff. And I think they've been awesome on the sidelines through the last couple of weeks.
Totally agree. Michael Williams looks like a player. Like, Michael Williams at this point in his rookie season is like, he's an Eric Armstead type of player, but he's looking better as a rookie than Eric Armstead did as a rookie.
I agree.
And that's, Eric Armstead, the sack numbers didn't come for a while for Eric, and they might not come with Michael either, but he is very clearly a high level player.
Yep.
And he
just gets it.
He just gets it, and he's really difficult to block. He is just really difficult to block. He's versatile. He's strong. He feels like a pro, right? Like, it's really impressive. Like, I think it's fair to group all these guys together because they all kind of just similarly look like pros. Like, Marquise Siegel looks like a pro. Michael Williams, like, D Winters, like Upton Stout, like, all these guys already through 3 weeks look like, okay, this is what they saw. And their whole goal this offseason was to reset the roster and find new young guys who can be part of the core going forward and provide depth to your roster and give you a really good 1 through 53. And that's through 3 weeks. And again, small sample size. Haven't played an elite team or an elite quarterback yet, but through 3 weeks, you're seeing the signs that you want to see for a young group taking steps. So I think for those reasons, you should feel really optimistic about this 49ers defense in particular. And I mean, we haven't even talked about the offense yet, but like, the fact that they're 3-0 with 2 division wins already with their backup quarterback, it speaks to the defense. Like, they're going to be, through an NFL season, it's going to be, sometimes the offense carries you, sometimes the defense carries you. You're going to have injuries on one side of the ball. You're going to be down your starting quarterback. You're going to be down your defensive end, whatever. At different points of the season, it comes in waves, and you're going to have to win different types of games. And the 49ers, without Brock Purdy, are going to have to win these types of games. And so the fact that they can, when it looks like they were going to lose, like after the safety, I was just like, oh, I've seen this movie before. Like, the Niners are.
That was it. That was it. It was like the Mac Jones interception, with 7-ish minutes left, felt like, oh man, like Arizona's been grinding out these long drives all day. This feels like they get down and either score a late touchdown or kick a late field goal, and then they get that stop. You had the Fred Warner pass breakup. You had the Upton Stout pass breakup. The Upton Stout pass breakup was later. But the Fred Warner pass breakup, and then they take the safety, and it was just like, man, all right. That's just, they've been hanging on by a thread all day. They've been playing mistake-free. And now they have an interception. They have a safety on back-to-back possessions. Like, ugh. Like, that's it. And then they figured out a way to dig themselves out of a spot that and down 15-13 and you're kicking it away with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left. That's not a recipe to win. And the fact that they did it with Ricky Pearsall as wide receiver 1 and Kendrick Bourne as wide receiver 2 and some Sky Moore and some Marquez Valdez-Scantling, like, all right, man. Super, super impressive. 5.7 yards per play today.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. Norm in the chat, we're doing a live show on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. But Norm in the chat asked, what rookies and young guys were the last group coached by Saleh? If you mean 49ers guys, I mean, it was Dre Greenlaw, it was Nick Bosa, it was,
Warner, arguably
the best Fred Warner. Fred Warner was basically a starter from the jump because Robert Saleh was like, that's my guy. Like, Fred Warner played this weird, like, strong safety, outside linebacker, slot corner role at BYU.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert Saleh identified him and was like, that's my starting linebacker.
Yep.
And then drafted Fred Warner in the 3rd round, and Fred Warner became a really good player from a rookie from the jump. And I think he was, by his 2nd season, one of, if not the best inside linebackers in the NFL. And that's when the 49ers went to the Super Bowl in 2019. So Robert Saleh, he's probably not like an elite head coach. He might just be a dude that is just an elite coordinator for as long as he wants to be. And maybe he'll get another opportunity at a head coaching job. But man, I just think he's an elite defensive coordinator, and I think he's proving that. And so far, again, I don't want to overreact to 3 weeks, but if the Niners plan this offseason was like, we're just going to draft a lot of young guys, try to replenish the defense, allow the coaching staff to coach them up, and create a unit that's better than the sum of its parts, and then you develop guys within that foundation, that's looking like it's working. And that was the biggest question entering the season. It was, man, you're letting these veteran guys go, these expensive guys go, you're eating all this dead cap money. Like, is it, are you rebooting? Are you rebuilding? Whatever. It's like, no, we're just going to draft a bunch of young guys, have a really well-coached defense, and we're going to be tough to beat because we like the talent that we have. We draft these guys to fill very specific roles on the defense, and so far it's working.
The fact that they've been able to do that and develop young players, play young players, while also dealing with the injuries they've dealt with, while also being 3-0 with 2 division wins, is massive when you start trying to project out. And again, I give it I think that's right. It's like a month. You give it a month before you start going, okay, like, this is what this team kind of is. But with the 49ers, it might be longer than that. Because, I mean, you're waiting on rookies to improve, but B, you're waiting on George Kittle to come back, and Brock Purdy, and Jawan Jennings, and potentially Brandon Ayuk. Like, they have this potential influx of talent coming while they're also getting to develop these players. And they've put themselves in a position now where if you get a home win against the Jags next week, you're 4-0 going into a tough stretch where you go to the Rams on a short week and then you go to Tampa Bay. You're putting yourself in a position where you could lose both those games and still be 4-2 and in a great spot. Like, the fact that they're waiting on this rookie development and they're waiting to get healthy while also stacking wins early in the year is a really, really tough needle to thread. And I think if they're sitting here at 1-2 and we're having a conversation about, okay, well, here's all the ways they can get better down the stretch. I think we're having that conversation. It's just through the lens of them being 3-0. Which is really, really significant because we've watched them a couple times in the Shanahan era have to dig out of 3-4, 3-5 starts, and it doesn't look like they're headed that way, while also potentially improving pretty significantly in November, December.
The difference between 3-0 and 1-2, given all the injuries they're dealing with, is we're having the conversation like, man, can they get better and then like back into a 9-7 finish and be in the mix for a wild card spot? Whereas now at 3-0 while dealing with these injuries, it's like, man, they could win 10, 11, 12 games given their schedule and they're right in the thick of it for the division. Like they're 3 undefeated teams in the NFC, and the Niners are one of them.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's the difference. It's like I think you make a great point, because going to the Rams on Thursday night in a couple weeks is going to be a really, really tough game. That's just a really tough spot. Maybe you're not going to get George Kittle back yet, but maybe you get some guy. Maybe Juwan Jennings is back, but that's just a really tough spot. The Rams probably should have beaten the Eagles today.
The Rams looked really good in that first half, man.
Yeah, in the first half of that game. So that's going to be a really tough game, and obviously going to Tampa is going to be a really tough game. But at least you have a long week leading into that. Maybe you get George Kittle back leading into that one. Maybe you get Brandon Ayuk going back into that game. So we'll see. But yeah, it's a 3-0. All things considered, is such a good place for this team to be, given all of the youth and given what we've seen from the youth, particularly on defense. Kyle, before we talk about the offense, we got to give a shout out to our friends at Lamb Chops.
Hell yeah, we do.
sglambchops.com is the website. You know what? I totally screwed this up. I should have had the
No, you do that. While you do that, okay. I'm going to outwardly beg our buddies over at Lamb Chops, our friends, our close personal friends at sglambchops.com, to send me in an XL the black sweater from the 2025 fall collection.
Yeah, that's this
I need
one
that.
Right here.
I need the fall 25 knit sweater yesterday.
Yeah.
Black sweater with just the very subtle white Lamb Chops logo on the chest on the left side. I need that.
It's a very clean look.
I need
very clean look. The whole fall line is good. The t-shirt's good. It looks kind of like an updated version of the shirt that I'm currently wearing.
Yep. For sure.
But yeah, it's just my favorite gear, honestly. Like I travel in it, I lounge in it, I go out in it, I run errands in it. The shorts, I know it's fall line, they're not making shorts, but if you can get some shorts, maybe they have some on sale. Would highly recommend. The zippered pockets, I'm a sucker for zippered pockets. It's just great stuff. It feels great. Like you put it on and it just has this like really high quality feel to it. Yep. It's an incredible brand. And we're excited to launch our merch, which should be coming any day now. Keeping an eye out in the mail. Merch will be coming, and we will do giveaways, and it'll be on sale, and we'll figure all that stuff out. So keep it locked for that. But make sure you go to sglambchops.com, use promo code Candlestick20 to save 20% off your first order. And we are also sponsored by Prize Picks. Let me pull up my lineup here. Bad. I went 1 for 2. All right. You won 1 for 2. Oh, do you want to recap those?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. No. Christian McCaffrey, longest rush, lower than 15.5. Nailed it. Kyler Murray, I had more on rushing and receiving yard, or rushing and passing yards, and he did not get there. So it's a 1 for 2 to me. How'd you do?
Well, let me get into this read first, Kyle. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks.
My bad.
Of course. Kyle, you and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. So I made a lineup for the Monday night game. I went flex play. I went 5 deep. I got 3 demon plays in here. I got DeAndre Hopkins more than half of a rushing and receiving touchdown. That's a demon play. I kind of like that against the Lions. Derrick Henry, I went more than 18.5 rushing attempts. It kind of feels like a layup. Feel really good about that. Kyle Hamilton, yep. I'm going more than 6.5 tackles. Best safety in the game. Lions love to play over the middle of the field. Just a lot of opportunities for our guy, Kyle Hamilton. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm going more than 1.5 halves with 25 or more receiving yards. That's a demon play. Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm going more than 3.5 quarters with 5+ rushing yards. So I feel like the Lions are obviously going to lean heavily on Jahmyr Gibbs. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kyle Hamilton's going to be making all these tackles on those guys. Derrick Henry's going to get a ton of carries, and DeAndre Hopkins is going to score a touchdown. Those are my plays. If you love them, you can ride me, or Pause. If you love them, you can ride the picks.
Good Lord, man.
You can ride
Holy
the picks.
smokes.
If you hate the picks, you can fade me. I don't care either way, but the money's out there. This is obviously a really nice multiplier with 5 plays. So, download the app today. Use promo code Candlestick to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineups. Again, that's code Candlestick to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
Yeah, it sure is. Sorry for stepping on your read.
No, it's all good.
Bad.
Speaking of being right. Oh, go ahead. Well, Mac Jones, last drive. Was that a Tom Brady ass final drive for Mac Jones or what?
Dude, it like I know you're being funny, but it was the exact
that's
type
what
of
Brady did.
Yep, just one step drop, let it rip to your tight end over the middle, quick slant to your receiver, and as soon as you realize that they're just going to send a 6 on every snap, you call a screen. The screen play call from Kyle Shanahan was excellent. The Niners don't call a ton of running back screens, just outright screens like that. They usually have a little more pizzazz to them. But that was just a straight running back's going to slip out, lob it over the top, and he runs with a convoy. A perfect play call in that spot. Where I was a little bit concerned the Niners were just going to settle for like a 52-yard field goal or whatever it would have been. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, I don't love that. And that was a play designed to get them the 20+ yards that it got and put them in much more manageable field goal range. I was blown away by that play call and honestly blown away by Mac Jones on that drive. He was really
it
good.
Out. I mean, so I think the Cardinals defense thrives. I mean, every defense thrives when you play sort of behind the sticks, right? When they can pin their ears back, when they can blitz, they stop the run, they put you in obvious passing situations, they heat you up with blitzes. They're a really tough defense to go against. But when you're in a 2-minute situation and you spread them out and it's getting the ball out quickly and it's no huddle and they don't have time to catch their breath, that's when you can get that defense. And I thought Mac Jones was super poised. Mm-hmm. I counted 5 for 7, 59 yards on the final drive.
Yep.
The only incompletion being one to start the drive, and then he had the throwaway, which was actually like a really smart play.
Yep.
Because there was no intentional grounding, which reared its head today.
Hey, when he let
it
that,
was just.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Nope.
No, it was just it was. He was okay throughout the game. Like when Mac Jones, not the most athletic quarterback, obviously, but when he's hobbled with the injury, you're like, man, this guy can't move. He could barely hand the ball off.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to put together that drive, given everything else that he was dealing with, it was just a really impressive finish from Mac Jones. He wasn't great overall. The interception was bad. I know Kyle Shanahan said afterwards he wanted Ricky Pearsall to maybe break that play up. And it was probably just a good play by the safety because the 49ers always run those in breakers. Mm-hmm. And I'm willing to bet that that Mac Jones was throwing that pass before Ricky Pearsall broke inside, because that's what happens so often on those plays.
Mm-hmm.
But Mac Jones wasn't great. He wasn't super accurate, but he just got it done when they needed him to, and he was resilient. And like, for a backup quarterback to have a game-winning drive like that in a division game, like it's just really good stuff for the 49ers. So you can nitpick Mac Jones, but he's your backup quarterback. This is not the dude the Niners paid $52 million.
When you have your backup quarterback in the game, your hope is that you can put enough points on the board and your defense can be good enough that you don't have to put the game on your quarterback's right arm. And the Niners did. To set up their first touchdown, the 4th and 2, the 34-yard strike to Ricky Pearsall, that was a dime ski. And a really nice catch by Pearsall, but that was a sick throw. And then you get to the last drive. Yeah, caught it up against the face mask. And then you get to the last drive, and to be as accurate and as poised as he was, like you said, on the throwaway, when he let that ball go, I was 84% sure he was throwing that into like triple coverage. Like just the way the way that play bared itself out, and just kind of the way he was playing, he was just kind of in a groove. I thought he might heat check, but he did the right thing and he threw it away.
Yeah.
I was, and it wasn't. So I'm going to use this to get to this Christian McCaffrey point that I've been dying to make. The fact that the last drive wasn't all just McCaffrey. The fact that they figured out a way to get into field goal range, and McCaffrey had the big screen to be sure, but it was Jake Tunges. It was, did Pearsall have a catch? Kendrick Bourne had one. It was
Sky Moore.
Sky Moore had one. That was big time. Like that ability to find open receivers when you're that deep into the wide receiver depth chart and that deep into the tight end depth chart was made it even more impressive with the backup quarterback. Like no team wants their backup quarterback to be in that spot. And the fact that Jones was able to turn in a scoring drive after not being able to put the game away twice against the Saints was big. That's big time. It's really big time.
It's a credit to Mac Jones that the 49ers, and a credit to Kyle Shanahan, that the 49ers won a division game against an undefeated team, and I know it's only week 3, so the Cardinals were 2-0. I get it. Niners won that game without their top 2 receivers, their top tight end, their top quarterback, and Nick Bosa for most of the game. Largely because Mac Jones is just a competent backup quarterback who is exactly what you need as a backup quarterback. Like, if all you need from a backup quarterback is like, hey, can you keep us in games? Can you, if we're a good team, we're going to be in these games. We just need our backup quarterback not to lose us these games. That's how organizations look at backup quarterbacks.
Yep.
And that's exactly what Mac Jones is providing them. And for Mac Jones to orchestrate a game-winning drive and show poise and spike the ball and, you know, to take the, it's not a big deal, but like take the snap and then duck into the right part of the hashes so you can kick the field goal. Like, all of it went off flawlessly.
Doing the basics,
throwing the ball away, hitting what's available to you, taking the check down, right? Like Mac Jones does that stuff. And, you know, obviously it's not perfect. And, you know, we can talk, there were a lot of mistakes the offense made. I thought the 4th down leading into the turnover on downs, Kyle Shanahan needed to call a timeout there.
Yep.
He didn't want to, or he wanted to. He should have. He said he wanted to initially call the play that the 49ers ran that ended up getting Kyle Juszczyk the touchdown later. But whatever that play was, it didn't work. Offensive line didn't do enough to give Mac Jones any time. Christian McCaffrey gets leveled. Yeah, like it's still tough sledding for the running game, but Ricky Pearsall looked really good. The 4th and 2. I don't know if I've ever seen a backup quarterback on a 4th and 2 in a close game be given a shot to like, hey, go. We're taking a shot play on this.
Right.
That was ballsy from Kyle Shanahan. And to your point, that was a hell of a throw by Mac Jones to Ricky Pearsall. And go ahead.
I thought they did a really good job on the broadcast of describing the quick snap there. And the fact that the Niners went with that on that 4th and 2 was another I think that's probably a Shanahan thing. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's Mac Jones just having a high football IQ and getting that silent snap off. But either way, really, really ballsy, to use your word.
Yeah. Ricky Pearsall looks like the real deal. I mean, he's everything that they've wanted so far. He's better than I thought he would be, and I've had high expectations for Pearsall coming into the season. He hasn't been like big separator guy, but he's just been super reliable and he's where he needs to be. He has good chemistry with the quarterbacks. He has great hands. Yeah. That was one thing we knew about him coming out of Florida, that he like just caught everything, and that he's shown that to be true. So 8 catches, 117 yards, his second 100-yard game in 3 weeks. Just really, really productive. We can talk about Christian McCaffrey. He's very clearly not the same player in the running game. And I think that's pretty clear. I also think not having George Kittle is maybe a part of that. Maybe not having all of your weapons on the outside is allowing defenses to load up to stop the running game a little bit more. But I just think the eye test, like physically, he's just not as elusive and as explosive as he was. But he's still a really good player. Like 15 targets for Christian McCaffrey, caught 10 of them, 88 yards receiving, 17 carries, 52 yards, so only a 3.1 yard average. So the offensive line hasn't been very good at run blocking so far.
No, they haven't.
And I think that's a big issue too. So it's kind of just like a perfect storm of a bunch of things contributing to Christian McCaffrey not being as explosive in the running game. But I definitely think one of those aspects is McCaffrey not being quite the same guy. But the fact that he's not the same guy and he still has 100 and some odd all-purpose yards, 140 all-purpose yards, speak to just how good of a player he is. He's still a very good player. He's just not what he was athletically a couple years ago.
Yeah, I think you saw some of the explosive runs toward the end of the game, and you saw flashes, especially on the screen. There were multiple times I thought he was going to go down, and he stayed up, and then it looked like he might score. But that was I think you kind of saw it as that game went on. I think is it Emmanuel Wilson for Arizona? It was kind of a thorn in his side all game. Emmanuel Wilson. Why does that sound weird? Mac Wilson. Mac Wilson.
The linebacker number 2.
Yeah, Mac Wilson, is that his name?
Mac Wilson, yeah.
Mac Wilson. Who's Emmanuel Wilson? Doesn't matter. Anyways, Mac Wilson was kind of a thorn in his side all game, and I think that kind of drove him a little bit at the end of the game, where maybe he had a little extra adrenaline kick or whatever. I don't know. It's all intangible bullshit. But Norm asked if McCaffrey's on pace for 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards. Not quite. He's on pace for 997 rushing yards and 1,207 receiving yards. The bigger deal for me, and something the 49ers have to figure out, is that Christian McCaffrey is now on pace for 436 touches this season. That is too fucking many. That is 33 more than he had in his Offensive Player of the Year season when everybody thought he had too many touches. So that's and I saw several people on the internet talking about how Kyle Shanahan needs to stop doing this and blah blah blah. I didn't think there, outside of the screen at the end of the game, I don't know how many of the 15 targets were like designed. I think that's just where Mac Jones is going, because if Ricky Pearsall's not getting open, there probably nobody's getting open. And so you take the easy throw to McCaffrey, who's by himself. That's my interpretation of how that's gone. But they absolutely have to figure out a way to generate offense that doesn't come from number 23. I don't think it's sustainable to have a 29-year-old running back averaging 30 touches a game. That's not going to be a thing that works.
Well, it's absolutely not sustainable in the form of like advancing in the playoffs to not have George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, right? Like in an ideal world, the 49ers taking some of the responsibility off Christian McCaffrey comes in the form of having these other guys to get touches too. Like you're trying to win games. Like if you're Mac Jones, you're not thinking about, like, Mac Jones is just trying to make the right football play. And more often than not, the right football play is to get the ball to Christian McCaffrey. And Mac Jones is in like, I would throw it to Christian, but like we really need him like 100% in December, so I'm not going to throw it to him. Like that's not the calculus that's going on in Mac Jones's head when he's back there giving Christian McCaffrey 15 targets. So the issue is getting your guys healthy, because then you can give George Kittle some of those targets. You can give Juwan Jennings some of those targets. You can absolutely give Brandon Ayuk some of those targets. Meanwhile, like you add Ricky Pearsall into the mix with all of those guys, and you get Brock Purdy back, like you're potentially really cooking. And if the Niners defense can continue to take these strides, then you're really, really cooking at that point, I think.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I'm with you 100%. It is not sustainable to give Christian McCaffrey this many touches long term. But it's the same reason it's not sustainable to like make a deep playoff run without so many of your key offensive players. Like getting those guys back is what alleviates Christian McCaffrey. Not okay, we got to give Marquez Valdez-Scantling more touches, or we got to give Brian Robinson more touches. Brian Robinson's fine. He is not like Mr. Juice. Like it's not. He's fine as to play him every once in a while, but it's not. This guy is not like eating up tons of yardage. Like I think opposing defenses are like pretty pumped when Brian Robinson comes in the game at this point. If the 49ers could get another running back, someone more explosive, or if Isaac Guerrero could be that guy for them, which I just don't think they think Guerrero's that guy for them right now.
Yeah, he must have just been really, really ass in camp, and in those preseason games, it must have been as bad as it looked.
Yeah. Like I would be open to the 49ers maybe looking at adding another running back, or maybe the answer is Jordan James.
I was gonna say they drafted one.
Yeah, they drafted one, so maybe that's the answer. Maybe getting Jordan James into the mix is part of it. Basically missed all of training camp, multiple injuries. He's healthy now, is he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Guerrero?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's playing on special teams today.
Oh, but is Jordan James healthy now?
Oh, Jordan James, yeah, he was healthy scratch.
Yeah. So maybe that's the answer. But I would definitely look at some point like you need to add another running back into the mix. I just don't know that Brian Robinson is like, I don't think the answer is giving him more touches. I think it's finding somebody else who can get those touches.
I think for me it's like the goal line stuff. Like, isn't the whole point him being good in short yardage? Like, you're not going to get the explosive plays, but he's going to get the tough yards. How is he not getting the goal line touches there down inside the 5? I think he got one, but just keep handing it to him instead of getting Christian McCaffrey leveled twice.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But at this point, like they would not be 3-0 without Christian McCaffrey. They might be 0-3 without Christian McCaffrey.
I agree. In fact, I'm comfortable saying they would be.
Yeah. So he's been, I think he's been their MVP on offense.
Yeah, who else would it be?
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Thanks.
Be Fred Warner team wide.
Yeah, the Fred Warner Defensive Player of the Year stuff has got to be real this year. If they keep being, I know they're not going to go undefeated, or I assume they're not going to go. I don't know that. I assume they're not going to go undefeated. But if they're
can't rule it out.
If they're like 13-4, and Nick Bosa misses some time with this knee injury, and they're still a top 8 defense, and Fred Warner is doing Fred Warner stuff, like, that's the recipe.
Yeah. There's going to be, like, depending on how the season goes, if the Niners win the division, and after everyone talked about him in the offseason, like, oh, their window's closed, they're rebuilding, blah, 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 and Kyle Shanahan gets his team to, win the NFC West, he's got to be among the candidates for Coach of the Year. Right?
I agree.
Jacksonville next week. Actually, you know what? There's one more point I want to make. Are you surprised that the 49ers had a little bit more in the tank and were a little bit better down the stretch of the game?
No, not even a little bit.
Forms?
No. Yeah, knowing, and that's, Kyle Shanahan had to feel good even after the safety, where the 49ers are kicking the ball back to Arizona with 3:15 left, trailing by 2 now. Like, you've just got to know that's the ace up your sleeve. Arizona's not running this clock out. Zay Jones hangs onto that football in a white jersey. But nope, that sun beating down, the red retaining that heat. Upton Stout feeling fresh in his white jersey. Yeah, got that ball out as they went to the ground. Huge play.
Cardinals defense a little gassed on that last drive, and we can't say definitively that it wasn't because they were in the red jerseys and they were
some people,
warmer in the Levi Stadium, sunshine.
Yep.
So score one for Kyle Shanahan. He made the call in the spring. He said, "Hey, last year in whatever game that was when it was 100 degrees, we wish we were wearing white jerseys. We're gonna do it in our home opener." It's even if they were just 2% better, maybe the 2% helped them on that final drive and get the game-winning field goal.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's just, that's what it came down to. I was also trying to look in the second half. No, time of possession was pretty even in the second half. 49ers had the ball for like 4 minutes more. But
yeah. Jags. Did you see what happened? Jags Texans today?
I'm going to be 100% honest with you.
You did.
I did not consume a second of that National Football League skirmish. Looked like a real barn burner. I saw somebody tweet, I think it was it Lance Zierlein from NFL Media? Mm-hmm. He was like, they say football is a great sport because it has something for everyone. Texans Jaguars has nothing for anyone.
Jaguars won 17-10. Not sure what's happening with CJ Stroud. Like, I thought this was a dude who might end up being like a top 5 quarterback. I'm not saying he can't be that, but it just feels like maybe he got broken by playing behind a terrible offensive line,
That's it. He looks so uncomfortable.
In a bad situation, bad coaching offensively. So Jags win that game. Trevor Lawrence completes 20 of 40. That's 50%. 222 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception.
Yeah, but did you consider that Travis Hunter had 1 catch for 21 yards?
Had not considered that. Haven't looked at the breakdown.
Let's see what he did defensively, though. And 6 tackles. He's basically Shohei.
Yeah. I mean, it's point being here is that next week looks like a very winnable game, even while the Jaguars are 2-1 coming into Levi Stadium. But, coming off an emotional win doesn't mean you should overlook any opponent, obviously. Kyle, you and I know that you cannot overlook any opponent in the National Football League.
Yeah, dude. Like, people think that they're gonna jump into this podcast and they're gonna hear us talking about Week 5 against the Rams or Week 6 against the Buccaneers. Buddy, we don't overlook anyone here. It is. You know what? Cardinals week is done. It's officially Jags week. Let's go.
Speaking of, we should talk about Nick Bosa's injury. So what Kyle Shanahan said after the game was basically they're not ruling out an ACL injury, but what the silver lining of where Nick's at, I guess, is that sometimes you can do a test, trainers can do a test, or medical experts can do a test like on the knee almost immediately where they could tell if the ACL is torn or if they believe the ACL is torn.
Right.
There was not that thought on initial testing of Bosa's knee. So we'll have to see. It could still be an ACL. Kyle Shanahan didn't rule it out after the game. Mm-hmm. It could be a knee sprain. It looked like it wasn't a non-contact injury. Like there was definitely contact, but it looked like his knee kind of buckled awkwardly while he was getting blocked. And then he got an offensive lineman fell on him. It doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
So that'll definitely be something to keep an eye on. I would imagine at minimum it's a multi-week injury for Bosa. So I don't know do you have any thoughts on Bosa? For me, it's just like Bryce Huff and Michael Williams. Like how much can you get from those guys? That's really all it is.
Yeah, I thought Huff was really good today. if Bosa's out a few weeks, it's exactly what we talked about on the offensive side. Like, just kind of you got to piece it together and figure it out. And I think you trust Robert Saleh and the defensive coaching staff to be able to do that. But when you take a defensive player of the year, perennial defensive player of the year candidate off a defense, they're going to get worse.
Yeah.
You can make it work for a couple weeks here, but man, you don't like going up against the Rams. You don't like going up against the Buccaneers without Nick Bosa. That would be a tough pill to swallow if he is out for an extended period of time. But again, we're recording this Sunday evening, so we're not totally sure just yet.
I'm not sure. If I were just to make a completely uneducated, speculative guess, I would just say we're looking at a multiple week injury. So we'll have to say about that.
Can I give a final thought on just the Niners game in general?
Yeah, please do.
When it comes to just kind of the overall theme of this podcast, which has been you just figure out ways to win when you're in the situation, well, in any situation, but specifically the situation the 49ers are in, and just how impressive it is that they've been able to start 3-0. I think the Cardinals are a quality opponent, but B, it is a division game, and you want to win all your division games. Somebody in the chat earlier on YouTube noted that the Niners have already won more division games this year than they did last year, which is wild. Crazy. But when it comes to feeling good or bad about a win or whatever, the Falcons lost 30-0 to the Panthers today. The Green Bay Packers, who looked like the best team in the NFC, lost to the Cleveland Browns today, 13-10. The Rams were up 26-7 on the Eagles and lost 26-33 on a blocked field goal return for a touchdown at the end of the game. Tampa Bay needed a last-second field goal to beat the Jets. Like this is
we're playing Tyrod Taylor,
who were starting a backup quarterback, and Tampa Bay needed a last-second field goal to beat them. So it's like, opponent doesn't winning, not necessarily opponent, but like winning ugly doesn't matter. Like a win is a win is a win. And the 49ers in this spot are not losing 30-0. They're not losing to Cleveland. They're not having to sneak past the Tyrod Taylor led Jets. And that's where it's like, man, feel good about the win. Because there's some teams that feel really, really bad about their losses this week.
For sure. Yeah. And you hate the injuries, and you hope the injuries sort themselves out as the season goes along. I think, look, barring, we'll knock on wood for Nick Bosa, but even as bad as the injury situation has seemed for the Niners, there's 3-0 despite going through all of it. Mm-hmm. And we'll see on Bosa, but none of the injuries have been season-ending to this point.
Yep.
So if you can get this team healthy, like if you can continue to win games and get guys lower on the depth chart, meaningful snaps and winning snaps and teaching, and like your team is going through this winning moment, that's all super valuable going down the line. And if the Niners can continue to play at this level, continue to stack wins, get the reinforcements, and then be healthy in November, December, dare I say January, then that's where you want to be as a football team in the NFL, right? Is just so you're surviving, you're advancing, doing all those things, which is what you need to do to win your division. Like these are the type of developments you need to win your division, and that's the 49ers' first goal. It's still well within reach, obviously. I know it's week 3, but like there are signs that they can get to that point. But yeah, if there's a silver lining of the injury stuff, it's that none of them appear to be season ending. And so you hope that you can get these reinforcements back for the stretch run.
Yep. They need to go like 8-6, I think, to make the playoffs.
And you have a kicker who can make field goals now. We haven't even talked about
what a difference. Every kick has been right down the middle.
The first one today was kind of at an angle. It was going left a little bit, but it was never in doubt. Was it just me? Or was it really hard to see the ball
kicking into the open end of the stadium there.
Don't do that to our guy.
No, but on the first two Pinheiro field goals, the first two Pinheiro field goals were into that side of the stadium where the sun was hitting, and I lost the ball every single time. I had no idea where it went.
Yeah, it's sun's tough. We know the sun is difficult at Levi's Stadium, but like to just stripe it right down the middle on a game-winning kick. How much confidence does that give you just as like a viewer of 49ers games in comparison to like how white knuckle would that scenario have been if Jake Moody was the kicker?
I'm going to keep it a stack. I don't think they play it the same way if Jake Moody was the kicker.
You think they're trying to score a touchdown there?
I'm so serious. I think they run down and spike it and throw it to the end zone a couple times. I'm so serious.
Well,
I'm not doing a bit. I think that's really what they would have done.
Right, but if you are at a point where you ever feel like that as a head coach, you cannot have that guy as your kicker. Which is
right. Yeah, which is so I don't want to rehash the Moody thing. So Pinheiro, to your point, had he missed that kick, I would have been surprised.
Yeah,
I'm watching him, expecting him to make it, and if he misses, it would be like, whoa. Versus I'm watching it and going, there's no chance this guy's making this kick. And then if he does, being surprised. They've done a 180 with that, which is what they were hoping to do.
Have not been on Twitter or X or the Everything app, as it's known as. But Benali, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, in the chat says, Ian Rappaport says it's a PCL strain for Mac Jones. Even if Brock Purdy is back next week, do they still have to keep calling Martinez up to be the backup? I would assume so. I don't know what quarterback would suddenly spring available that they would rather have as a backup, assuming Brock Purdy is going to be back. And my assumption is Brock Purdy is going to be back. I thought Brock Purdy was going to play this week. I don't know why Brock Purdy would bother returning to practice if he wasn't going to play.
We made it very clear on this podcast that we thought Brock Purdy was going to play. We did say we were being irresponsible about it.
I just want to be accountable to the people because I was on here being like, I think Brock Purdy's playing. I just want to, I was wrong. I'm accepting the L on the internet. It's okay to be wrong and just wear it sometimes. Everybody's always in who can be the most right. It's like an often discussed thing on the internet. I was wrong. I'll wear it, but I'm expecting Brock Purdy to play.
It's well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I'm I would anticipate if Purdy plays next week and Jones can't go, that it'd be an Adrian Martinez backup situation. And they have an open roster spot still, so they may just promote Adrian Martinez at that point if Jones is going to miss multiple weeks. But TBD.
Tanner Mordecai was released with an injury settlement, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah. Carter Bradley still on IR.
Carter Bradley is still injured. So, yeah. 49ers don't need to rush Brock Purdy back. They might if Mac Jones is unavailable to play.
If they were rushing him back, he would have been back this week.
Right. So, yeah. All right. Anything else?
No, that's all I got.
All we got. Niners 3-0, first place in the NFC West. Just huge win. Thought for sure they were going to lose. They pull it out.
Did you see what Seattle did to New Orleans, by the way? Speaking of division games. Holy smokes.
Seattle's currently, despite that, they're currently in last place in the NFC West.
Oh, hate to see it.
At 2-1. The Niners are 3-0, and then the Rams, Cardinals, and Seahawks are all 2-1.
Good division.
Playoff scenario. Niners 1 seed, Eagles 2 seed, Bucks 3 seed, Packers 4 seed, Vikings 5 seed, Washington 6 seed, Rams 7 seed. So you're looking at a rematch. Eagles Rams in the wild card round. Niners get the bye. Might get anyway. No, I'm just kidding. It's September.
Standings update brought to you by Chico's Bail Bonds.
But I mean, the NFC West is a crazy division at this point.
Yeah. Niners Rams next Thursday. Thursday after
not
next.
Hey, we are not overlooking Jacksonville
Jacksonville
Jaguars, Kyle.
It's on me.
We are.
It's my bad. It's my bad.
It is a week by week league. We're not overlooking the Jaguars. We will talk more about presumably the Nick Bosa injury on Monday, upcoming game against the Jaguars throughout the week. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to Cooperage Brewing in Santa Rosa. They have 2 spots, one on Ross Street downtown, which is an absolute vibe. Go drink your Candlestick Chronicles Hazy IPA. Yes, it is named after this exact podcast. Mm-hmm. We partnered with them on the beer. They make phenomenal beer. Go drink it. It's amazing. Or go to their brewery on off Airway, I believe, over by Piner Road in West Santa Rosa. Obviously a great place. Go to Cooperage. Their beer is as good as anything out there. It's probably the best beer in Sonoma County. And if you know the heavy hitters in Sonoma County, you know that is lofty praise. I fully believe that Cooperage makes the best beer in Sonoma County.
Great.
And there's great beer place in Sonoma County. So I totally believe that. Drink a Candlestick Chronicles Hazy IPA. Shout out to them. Shout out to Lamb Chops. We will have merch soon. Shout out to Prize Picks. And we'll talk to you guys later in the week.